If I could pick one simple piece of home gym equipment out there, it would be this one. Let's talk about it. So the key things that I hope to cover in this video are what the equipment is, why I recommend this equipment, recommendations when using it, like tips, and tips when purchasing it. And I think that is all of it. Oh, also recommendations. I did a quick search for you guys and tried to find the best ones that are currently out there that I see that meets the different things that I talk about in this video. So I'll provide you guys with that information as well. Hey everyone, it's Xang. Let's talk about this home gym workout situation. Alright, so obviously with the situation going on in today's world, more and more people are purchasing home gym equipment. And I definitely think it's possible to get a great workout in at home. But now you run into the question of what should I get? What's worth my money? Well, if you're tight on a budget, or if you just want something that's some equipment that's just like really well-rounded overall, what would I recommend? I definitely recommend resistance bands. So just gonna go through with you guys some tips that I have when using resistance bands overall, as well as what to look for when purchasing them. So I got a little list here of things that I wanted, points that I wanted to hit. So I might look down a few times throughout this video, but just wanted to let you guys know that. So, all right, so resistance bands. Let me see what I wrote here. Oh yeah, okay, so why resistance bands, right? So compared to like the amount of money that you'd be spending, like if you're, like I mentioned, if you're just getting one piece of equipment, this would be my go-to, because especially if you're limited on space, limited on money, because if you're really getting anything else, let's say dumbbells, right? You're limited with the types of exercise that you can do where you're applying that resistance, which is the weight. And if you think of just the benefit that it's going to provide to you with something like dumbbells, it only provides resistance during the concentric movement, which is basically when the muscle is shortening, or basically when you're contracting the muscle. So for those of you that aren't into the fitness jargon, basically what I'm saying is you're only getting resistance, for example, with the bicep curl, when you're doing this flex motion here, right? But it's also very important that you get resistance and engage the muscles while you're going the other way, lengthening the muscles. And that movement would be called eccentric movement, when you're lengthening the muscles and basically elongating the muscles. So dumbbells, you do get a little, you go down slowly, you're still like providing some resistance to your muscles. But compared to bands, where you're getting that constant tension, that pull in your muscles while you're going down, and you gotta really fight it. And essentially it's gonna force everyone to really focus on that eccentric movement, because otherwise your arm's gonna snap back. And you just instinctually, you're gonna injure yourself if you do that. So a lot of people with dumbbells though, sometimes they do just drop the weight down. So that's definitely a benefit to, one key benefit to having bands, and why I like them so much. The other thing that's really great about them is that you can exercise every part of your body, and also gradually, okay, I guess I'll leave that for my next point. You can exercise every part of your body. Once you attach it to the door, you can do bicep curls, you can do tricep extensions, you can do chest flies, you can do reverse flies for your back, you can do rows for your back, everything. As you guys have been seeing in some of my Xang Saturday tip videos, I've definitely been making a good use of the bands in my home workouts during the past few months, where I've been strictly working on at home. So definitely a key part of my workout week. The third point that I want to get to that I was about to jump the gun on was the resistance adjustments. So something like dumbbells, Depending on how much you want to spend, right? It gets expensive when you want to buy different levels of weight. I know I was looking at dumbbells recently, and the adjustable set that goes up to like 50 pounds is upwards of like $200, $300. So I know there's cheaper sets out there that you can get, which are also cool, which is what I have. I got like a $16 set of dumbbells, but it only goes up to a total of 40 pounds, so probably like 20 pounds per dumbbell. And the weights are, I think it's called vinyl, where it's like plastic essentially, and it's filled with sand. So that's why it's cheaper materials. So nonetheless, that only goes 20 pounds. I mean, 20 pounds of dumbbell, and that was like almost $20. So that's about $1 per pound weight. And usually when you're purchasing weights, it's at least $1 per pound. So if you're lifting, up to 50 pounds, minimum, if you're getting just the plates, it's gonna end up being $50. But with resistance bands, these bands and most bands that you'll find online go up to 150 pounds of resistance. So, it'll take you a very, very long time, especially if you're just getting started, to get to the point where these bands are too easy for you. So the awesome thing with being able to have these different levels of resistance all in one package is that you could start with the easiest one, which looks like here is the 10-pound one in yellow. You could start with just that, depending on which exercise you're doing. It might be the right weight for it. For example, lateral raises tend to not be a lot of weight compared to like something like an press motion, because you're using so many more different muscle groups to help with that motion. So you could definitely put more weight on that movement. So you could start at 10 pounds, your lateral raises, and slowly inch your way up, progress your way up. And that's what's important when it comes to building strength, building muscle. It's that slow progression upwards. So dumbbells, if you try to be cheap with it, only get specific weights. You try to make a big jump from like 20 to 40 pounds. That's where injuries come in. You're not gonna be making progress while you're sitting in bed trying to recover. So, bands, man. I love bands. So if you're not sure, you understand the concept of what bands are, what they're doing. If you're familiar with cables in the gym, it's essentially doing the exact same thing, right? Everything that you do with cables in the gym, you can do with bands. So one thing that's helpful when you purchase your set is if you have these numbers on your set, which I would recommend, which is going to come up when I'm talking about different things I recommend when purchasing. That's the later section. But I definitely recommend, if you have these numbers, put them all towards the side where your handle is. Because that way, see how I have them all on that side where my handle is, not on the side where my door attachment is. That way, when you're working out, it's a lot easier to just be like, all right, it's 150 pounds is attached right now. I want to go to 100. I'm going to detach the 50. Boom. You detach the 50. You drop that. You can keep going. So it's just a lot easier if it's all organized in that way. So the other tip that I have for you guys is when you are using the door attachment. So you don't have to use the door attachment. You could also just step on this center point here and have it under your foot and attach an extra handle to the side where the door attachment is. And what that will allow you to do is you could do like lateral raises with both hands at the same time. So you can definitely do things like that as well. But if you are using the door attachment, what I recommend, and definitely make sure of this, is with the door that you're using, make sure you're opposite to the side that it opens. So this door right here that y'all see me using, it does not, when I'm going into this room, it swings open that way, right? So when I attach this piece to the door, there's no way the door is gonna fly open, because I'm pulling in the direction that it closes. So if you do it the opposite way, and you attach, if I was in the other room using this, and I'm pulling, and I attach this to the side of the door that I am, where the door opens. So I'll show you guys in a second, but this door opens like this, right? It swings open like this. So if I attach this here, I'm pulling the way that the door is swinging, then it's going to damage the door. You'll see the door like pulling while you're doing your reps. So it can definitely damage the door. Number one, it's more dangerous because there's a higher chance of the door opening up a little bit wide enough, depending on how big your door blocker is. So a higher chance of it flying out. And also it's higher chance of you damaging your door. So yeah, just make sure you're pulling in the direction of that the door is closing. And I'll show you guys real quick how it looks like when you're attaching this to your door. Alright guys, so when you're sticking it in the door, you're just gonna take the flat part of it and slide it under like so. So now you got that wedge on the other side, and then you can pull this door shut. So like I mentioned, you see the doors coming this way, so not setting up so that it's pulling the way it's opening. So again, just another reminder, pay attention to that. And from there, it's good. And this is where you're gonna attach your resistance bands to. Another quick tip that I almost forgot to mention is get like a cheap cinch bag from the dollar store if you have an extra one lying around. Throwing in the cinch bag makes it a lot easier to put your resistance bands away when you're done using it. So I tend to leave my attachments like I use the handle most often, so I just leave that attached, and then when I put it away, so I just do like a nice little loop like that, and then throw it into the cinch bag like so. So yeah, that's another nice little tip that I found. It makes it a lot easier to put it away and take it out when you're ready to use it. But another thing that you definitely want to pay attention to every time you're going to use it is just do a quick scan of the tubing. If there's any little tear at all, I think you got to replace that band, because that tear is going to keep spreading. Eventually it's going to snap in your face. So be very careful when you're using these, and be very visually aware of the state of them. But yeah, they last a long time, and I've had them for at least 3 years. Let's move to the next section of what to look for when you're purchasing, and the qualities you're going to look for. So so the brand, I don't even know what's a good brand for this equipment in particular. So, but there's definitely, they all seem okay based on the ones I've looked at. They all perform the same function, but these are the things I'd recommend looking for. Definitely with these, first off, I guess, if you look at where the rubber is going into the attachment section, make sure that this plug is a decent size. It might be hard to tell in some of the pictures, but just look out for it. It should make sense in the design, but you know, as you can see, this one's a lot wider here, and it also has plastic welded piece over it. So there's hopefully zero chance that it would ever fly through. I also like that there's this metal ring here to also provide more stability and less chance of that coming through. So there's that. Definitely, you know, you're all gonna have these clamps, which are good. Also with the attachments, make sure that there's a metal ring here. That's gonna make it a lot easier to detach the different resistance weights that you're using for each exercise. So that is good to make sure. Again, most of them will have this. Yeah, other than that, check to make sure that you have 2 handle attachments, 2 strap attachments, and a door attachment. So this is what that looks like. I got I just dropped it. But yeah, so you've seen the handle already. This one came with 2 handles, but it only came with 1 strap attachment. So pay attention to that. Excuse me. But this is basically the strap attachments that most of them will come with. Make sure you got 2 of them listed there. And basically what this is it's a really strong Velcro. I haven't used these in a little bit. But you can do a lot with this, but most commonly I'd say it's used to attach to your ankle. And that way you can do a bunch of different exercises. I'll make some videos on that soon. Tips Saturday exercises. But let's see. Oh, and so this door attachment I purchased separately. It's a little bit bigger. I saw it for a really good deal, so I was like, it's good to have backup and it looks more sturdy than my other one. But this is the one that came with it. It's a lot more smaller and dinky, as you can see, but it does the job. You got like a piece of plastic in here, and some foam to protect your door. So both of them work really well and get the job done. So yeah, that's what you want to look out for when you're purchasing. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, and yeah, make sure, like I mentioned earlier, make sure it has the different levels of resistance labeled. That's super helpful. I know not all of them have that, and that's definitely an easy thing to miss. So yeah, I provided some links below to help you guys. If you want to check out like what I found for you guys, it's not the same brand, but there's better deals out there now than when I purchased this. I got this for like 25, 30 bucks. And these ones are, let's see. So I posted links for both my US people and Canadian people. But I posted 2 for US. Canadian, I only found 1 that was like a reasonable price. There could be more out there. And also before you purchase, just make sure you think about it first, and if you're actually going to use these. Otherwise, it's just going to collect dust. But if you are looking for some home good equipment and you want something that kind of just covers it all, definitely I'd recommend the resistance bands. So yeah, for the US ones, I posted 2. I'll post 2 in the links below. One of them is by Olarhike, it looks like. It's $19.99. Tried to find the cheapest ones, or the most affordable, cheapest, whatever you want to call it. Tried to find the best ones for the best price. And so this one's $19.99. It has the numbers labeled on it. The only one I found was cheaper was $15.49, and it doesn't have the numbers labeled on it. So, if you want to save $5, it looks like you can do that. Stick pieces of masking tape on the weights, on the different resistances to identify them, and that works too. So it's up to you. But if it is on there, it's generally like stitched on there nice, so you don't really gotta worry about it falling off or deteriorating in any way. Although that is kind of coming off a bit, but still legible. So yeah, $19.99 for the one with the labels, $15.49 with the one without the labels. There could be more out there. Look around, guys, and I'm sure there's more out there that also meet these requirements that I've talked about. But these are the most affordable ones that I could find. And for the Canadian one, it's by Sensyne resistance bands. Though that cheapest I could find was $36.99. And one thing with that is that I saw it comes with resistance band loops. So it's like a flat resistance band you'll see, and then they're just like a loop. So you can do a lot with those too. I don't generally use them a whole lot, but I got a couple, and it depends on what you're training for and what you're trying to do. So yeah, I think that covers just about everything. Alright, thank you so much, guys. Just remember that excellence is a habit, and I'll see you in the next one. Xaturday.